All right, hey, how's it going, everyone? It's been a while. Had got caught up with some work things and wasn't able to work on this course at all. So I just wanted to get back on this and do something more with this. So what I was thinking was the code we've put together so far in the series could be a nice little package that you can add to another Voyager application, and that way you can build out Voyager a little bit faster in the future if you were to build on top of it. Um, so one of the things that we're probably going to need to do, or I think we need to do, is we need to add basically a way to change out the theme. So the site we built, right, is pretty much just a front end little theme, and it'd be nice if we can change that out really easily. And that's the next little piece that we're going to work on. So. And then we'll in the next video or two, or I don't know exactly. I don't have this really planned out, but over the next couple of videos, then we'll plan on packaging up what we've built within this course into a package, a composer package that can be then installed on a Voyager Laravel application, whatever. So let's start here with the theme, so we can because all right, so let's establish then why we want to do a theme, right? So if we look at our code, we have we have our view, right? So we have this folder of views, and all of our views are currently in this directory. So if we wanted to change the look of our site, right, the front end like markup and all, on how that works, we would need to come in here and start changing out, these files, either updating these or like we'd have to maybe create like a new file that's about to.blade.php, and then we'd have to go update like a route to point I guess Voyager handles that, but we'd have to or yeah, it's through the pages controller. That's right. It's been a while since I have worked on this, so my memory's a little off on it. Yeah, so we'd have to then update. I guess it just does the page show, so maybe not. But there's certain things that we would have to update, and it's not a really clean way to do that. Whereas if we had a folder where all of our themes views lived, and we wanted to have another theme, we could just have a different folder, the same file names or same structure as ours, and then we can just change out which folder we want the application to use as the theme, right? So in order to do that, we need to update our app service provider with a little bit of code, which I've already copied in. And basically all this is doing, right, is once the application boots, it grabs the view class or object from the app, and then we add this namespace, and that is going to allow, and what we're doing is we're adding a theme namespace, so we can use reference all of our views using a theme, so it'll end up looking like theme : and then whatever we want it to be. So in this case, our view is like page.show in that example. So we would reference it this way in our controllers and stuff like that, and then but this could be anything, so we could change this to test1, and this would have to be test1, and that's how we would reference it to point it towards this namespace of our new view locations, right? So that's just what the first parameter here is designating that the what the name of this namespace that we're adding is. And then the second parameter, which is all of this code, is basically just pointing it to the base path, the resources folder, which is where the views live anyway. So that's the base path resources views is where they normally live. And we're defining a new folder called themes. And then we're defining a config variable that's called theme, and then the ID. So that now defines that namespace, and we can now reference that in our controllers and stuff like that. Okay, so what we need to do now is verify that this works. So let's go ahead and just create a new kind of dummy route so we can just test this really easily and see that that code that we just added is in fact working and doing what we want. So right now we'll just say, like, this is our theme route, so we can verify that we're in the right route. What's missing? I misspelled return. Okay. All right. So now if we hop back to here and we go to theme, which is what we named this route, we're getting back this little string that is this is theme. So that route's working, which is what we would expect. We need to save this, and now we can do this again. Okay, so the application still loads, so the code we added didn't break anything. You know, in theory we should write tests for this, but at this point I'm just kind of quickly diving in and doing this, not doing it, I guess, in the proper way with a test to verify all this. We can do that later, but just wanted to get in this really quick and show how to do this. Okay, so now if we want to, so in our route here, we can load a view if we want to using the view helper method, right? So we can come back, this is still that page, so we just need to go to theme, which is our route, and now it's loaded in our about. And if we wanted to do like the contact, it now loads the contact. So that view is working, but we really want it to go to what we're going to call this theme, and we wanted to grab the like about in the theme, right? So let's if we do that, okay, now it's saying that about view is not defined, and that's because we have not created the view or the themes folder in our resources. So we need to do that. All right, and then this still isn't going to work because we have to name our theme, right? So we'll say test for the test theme that we're going to mess around here with. And obviously it still isn't going to work because we are looking for the about blade file in that theme location. So we can just real quick do, this is the about in the theme, right? And now, okay, it's still erroring. And that's because, right, we created this in our service provider, we defined this new theme config, and we haven't created that. So now we need to create that. So we're going to come in here, new file, theme.php, create our new theme or config stuff. And right now I'm just keeping this extremely simple, but we could get more complicated later if we need it to be. So I think we called the theme folder test, right? So now that we define that, okay, now we can actually load this test about here, right? Whatever we want it to be. Okay, so now that's working. So we're loading that from that theme location that we defined from the service provider, right? So now we can build whatever we want in here, and we can just pull in, now as an example, right? Let's say we wanted to build another theme and we wanted to change this. So let's call this one test2. We can create another blade file, call it about, and then h1 or whatever. This is the theme2 file, whatever, it doesn't matter. All right, and so now, right, that's loading there, but now we just need to update this one place, and our whole app now serves from that other theme, right? Which is exactly what we want. We don't want to have to come in here and update all of these files at once to get our app working. Now we want to be able to switch between these themes, and we can do that by just updating this variable in our theme config, right? Which is pretty handy. So now what do we need to do? All right, we can go ahead and get rid of this test2, and actually let's go ahead and rename this to clean, which I think is what the bootstrap theme that we're using is referred to as. And so now we have that right there, and now we can start transferring some of our views into this theme, and then get this whole thing working. So this will be pretty interesting. Okay, so we can leave that in there for right now. Okay, so this is going to go page.show. Okay, so what we're going to want to do is move this, and right now it's in resources views. We want to put that in themes clean, and then that should all have moved over to here. And if we come back and try to go to about, okay, we're gonna get that that's not showing, and that's because our pages controller is still going to the views folder and not to the theme that we're using, right? So we just need to add in here, tell it to use the theme and not just the views. And the theme, because of the way we did our service provider and pulling it from the config, right, automatically points it to the clean directory. And so now we should be able to reload this, and now we're getting our about page now is being loaded from our themes clean directory. So now we're gonna have to go update a bunch of these things in order to update our app to use this new theme that we built, which won't be like the rest of this video is probably gonna be pretty boring because it's mostly just gonna be updating some stuff. But I'll let it run, and if anybody wants to watch, you guys are more than welcome to do so. So let's see, that'll be clean. Mostly gonna move most of these things to just that directory, right? So let's do this themes and then clean. And so now we'll need to update these. All right, and so let's see, can we go back home? We haven't messed with that yet. Or maybe that is, I don't know. Let's undo it and we can see if it breaks. Okay, so yes. Oop, ooh, whoa. There we go. All right. So that works. Now we need to come into, I don't know if we actually did the portfolio controller. I think that might have been me messing around on a video when I thought I had some time, but then I ended up not. So maybe this is all we really need to worry about at the moment. One thing to note, let's see, we need to dive into one of these. Okay, let's see, where's this gonna work? Okay, so right now, yeah, this is gonna be another kind of pain to deal with. So all of these that include like these blade directives still point to the views directory, right? They're not using the theme. So what we'll need to do, we'll need to move all of these over into the theme in order to be able to have that really nice and simple switch between themes. So move that over, and I have a feeling something should break. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So we're going to have to update all of these little references and point them to okay, parcels.nav. So that is probably going to be in our layouts. Let's see, it's probably in our layouts index. Probably points to, yes, we will need to update that to the theme. And probably also going to have to do this footer. And maybe that'll work. Let's see what else we got. Okay, so now that's coming back. Cool. It's working. All right, now also we'll probably want to put this layouts into the theme because for the most part, we're going to, those layouts will be only used in a theme, right? They won't be used, they're not universal layouts. They're really just for that theme. So we're going to move everything over, and that means we're probably going to have to go and update a bunch of stuff to point to themes. But let's just leave it there for now. And yep, that's what I exactly thought would happen. All right, so we'll update that. All right, now that's because we need to update the page one to use that as well. And that should come back. No, it did not. Why did that not? That's interesting. I would think that would. Let's see. Not in views, contact. Okay. So this needs to be moved for one. And that's going to be in themes clean. All right. And then we're also going to have to do this, but I have a feeling this is going to break because the contact now is not found because we need to update something. Where is that one getting? All right, so let's see. So that, okay, that one's hard-coded for some reason. Okay, there we go. So now that's coming back. All right. So really, we probably, like I said, need to go ahead and move all of these into all the ones that should be moved into this themes folder. So let's go ahead and do that, and then we'll see if anything breaks. Then we'll have to go update something else. But that's okay. See, if we had thought about, like, the thing is, like, we're building this out, right? So had we thought about it beforehand, we could have saved ourselves a little pain that we're experiencing right now. But since Voyager doesn't come with this stuff out of the box, it's kind of going to be hard for us to like, we can't always, you can't always pre-plan everything. And things change as you build a site or an application. Things just change. So yeah, we can leave the welcome because that's the default Laravel one. We don't need to worry about moving that. This vendor can stay because that's kind of some there's a lot of Voyager stuff in here, like all the admin stuff. And then some views from, well, I guess Laravel doesn't come with them necessarily, but I guess Voyager, maybe this pagination comes from a package. Anything in the vendor should probably stay in views. And this, I think, was just where I stored some of the original HTML files that I had that I turned into Blade files. So now let's see if anything breaks when we click around the site. Okay, so menus main, and that is in the partials nav, right? So we need to go here, and that is probably trying to pull in something. I guess this might work. There we go. Nice. Okay. The good thing is that this isn't particularly complicated of a site. So had we built out like a huge application, this would be even more of a pain. But it's not too bad. Not too bad. Could have been much worse. So what else we got to do? That looks okay. Pages controller. That's all right. It's all right. All right. So maybe that's it. So that's like a super simple way to do a theme, right? And if we wanted to, right, we could duplicate this, call it something else like new theme, right? So now we have all of these again, and then we can do like, well, let's go to, I guess it would be header. No, that's a section. So we want to do the index.layout, right? So if we just came in here and said new theme, this should show up on everything, but we want to update now like this to point to the new theme. So we got the new theme is on every page, right? That little bit that we added to the layout, it's on every little thing. Cool. This is another thing that broke. So we need to go to posts. Yep, need to update theme, point that there. Anything else? Doesn't look like it. Oh, maybe. Post show. Layouts index. Let's see, what did I do? That's weird. Seems like that would work. Am I missing something? Right. Okay. So the problem with that right there, what happened was I was looking in the clean folder for posts.show, and I updated that one, but I did not update the one that our current that I had currently set to. So anyway, okay, so there we go. That is because, is it this thing? What is this? Where's this page coming from? Ah, okay, there, it's there. Never mind, just kidding. All right, so see, we can easily so let me go over this again. Where is it at? All right, so in our layouts index page, we added this new theme, which could be anything that we want, any new change that we're making to this theme, right? And all of the views that in this theme extend this base layout. So we're adding that to basically every view, right? Pretty easily. And if we come in here and change this to clean and we refresh, right, now that goes away. Again, come back, and now that's how we're switching between these two themes, which is pretty handy. And then we just have to remember when we're working in our theme, we just need to preface all of our like calls to or views. Like when we include a view or whatever, we just need to add this little theme : and that'll point it to the active theme directory and pretty much handle all this stuff for us. So that's pretty much what I wanted to do in this video, which is basically set up the basics of the theme. One thing to note, I guess, is that the assets are not in the theme folder at the moment. That could be something that we work on or account for, but right now we just wanted to get the pretty basic implementation of the theme, and then we can get into some more advanced, or we can worry about those other concerns later. But now our views directory is pretty clean. It's really just got the base Laravel view, the vendor, and then this kind of leftover crap from our initial setup. So, all right, I'm going to leave that as the end of this video, and then I hope to get more out as soon as possible. So, thanks for watching, everybody.